Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. When I leaned into your energy, it felt very anticipatory. Like there's lots to look forward to. It's interesting in Virgos, it was just straight up anxiety, but yours feels anticipatory. And I can understand why, because your ruling planet Venus goes into Pisces. Finally is getting out of Venus in Aquarius, where things have been just kind of fucking weird, and going into the sign of I believe. Things get way more faithful and deep and spiritual and ethereal, and I just feel like this is the energy we've needed for a while. Grab your things, grab your essentials. We got lots of good shit to talk about. Hi Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What it do? It's your girl Jay, the High Priestess, back at it again with the general tarot reading for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising for Capricorn season 2024. I'm going to try desperately to not make mic sounds as I place this down. Hydrate, light it if you need it. I put my blue robe on because Venus and Pisces, I feel like, is going to feel like this hug from the ocean, this hug from the divine, a hug from the God of your understanding. Like you're moving into the sign of unconditional love. And this is the end of a cycle for Venus. So I feel like there's a big end of a cycle, big end of a chapter for you. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It's the most complex sign, the most complex season, because it's a culmination of everything into one. And so it's kind of, interestingly enough, it's giving me the world energy. There's something about like something feels like it's a big fucking deal, or something feels like it's the world to you, or it means the world to you. But I'm ready to dive in and create a safe space for my benevolent ancestors, Mother God, Father God, Mother Earth, thanking you for the most useful, helpful, and divinely aligned messages for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising, for Capricorn season 2024. Baby, welcome to winter. Welcome to the darkest part of the year. Welcome to our happy winter solstice. Depending on when you watch this. But yeah, be sure to check out that Capricorn season astrological video, because it has all the astrological transit dates that are important. But I will put you on game. On January 2nd, Venus goes into Pisces, and it's not just going into Pisces, she's going into exaltation. This is where she wants to be the most. This is where she functions the highest. This is where she's at her best, does her best work. And so Venus going into Pisces, it's the ooey gooey is coming back. There's something about that deep agape-like love. There's something about that God-like connection, that divine connection between you and another person, you and your people, you and your family. Happy New Year whenever you watch this. But that's what it feels like. There's a closing out of a cycle, and when Venus goes into Aries, that's the start of a brand new cycle. And so what thought processes, behaviors, beliefs are closing out, and because they no longer serve you anymore. I also just feel like there's something about growing up, something about maturing, something about being honest, something with yourself, something about like what really matters to me, what do I value? What did Venus in Aquarius, the sign of the future, teach you about what it is that you want in your future, or who it is you want in your future, or what accomplishments you want to achieve in your future? I just feel like that Venus in Aquarius weirdness is going to give you a very specific gift. And that gift, I feel like, is sight and clarity, and the ability to articulate what it is that you believe in. And it's going to dictate your actions and your consciousness going forward. So for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising, For Capricorn season 2024, please just breathe. Take a breath. Empty your lungs and inhale through your nose and hold it at the top. And then exhale out your mouth when you're ready. For Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Cards already being very reticent with you. Feel like they want to be very specific. For those of you who are Libra risings, that means Venus is going into your 6th house. And so I do feel like whatever it is that you're working on, things get more like spiritual or emotional. There's like a flare of like a spiritual or emotional kind of like wave connected to what you're doing. I feel like also Venus going into your 6th house could put you in a position where you start to attract in more love for the work that you do, attract in more love in your day-to-day life, attract in more that positively influences the mundane things and tasks that you have to do. I just feel like life is getting sweeter. All right, first card out is the 8 of Swords. So first thing to be clarified on the Selenite throne, Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What has you trapped in your mind? What mental cycle or what thought process needs to end? Some of us have been looping in the mind or having like compulsive or obsessive thoughts or keeping ourselves blind to the fact that we have all that we need to free ourselves of whatever hardships. Because the thing is, if you look at this card, these binds are falling off with some effort, little bit of push. You break out of that, take the blindfold off, and you'd see that none of these swords are impaling you. There may be somebody else with Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius placements that's really got you caught up in your head, or there's a new cycle that you can't see coming. I feel like some of us are being blinded to what's coming. Some of us are being like we're being held in a place of uncertainty because we're going to cultivate new beliefs and new faith, new levels of faith, reaching higher levels of faith. So I feel like ultimately Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising, there's a new cycle of thought. There's a new cycle in your mind. There's a new cycle with this Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. And it feels like a lot of it feels like, what's been self-inflicted? How are you keeping yourself in this kind of mental loop? Or how are you vacillating? Are you going back and forth about something? There just could be thoughts, words, like legalities, something that you're like looping about, or feeling confined in your mind, needing to break out of the current mental cycle. And that requires a certain level of honesty with yourself. What do you need to be honest with yourself about? Or who do you need to be honest with? What ways have your thought processes been holding you back from actually having the things that you want? I saw the 10 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, actually. So I feel like some of you are really caught up in self-worth, caught up in family drama, caught up in your career, or like hyper fixated on those things. And there's just something about a cycle in the realm of your thought processes, your perspectives, the way that you look at life. That cycle of perspective is changing, but it can't change until you acknowledge it. So that's a thing. What has you stuck? What are you stuck on? Maybe even who are you stuck on? What are you not seeing clearly? What are you not seeing clearly around the old mental cycle? Because a new one is coming up to be initiated. Please continue for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising for Capricorn season 2024. The moon, illusions, dreams. Some of us have been caught up in a fantasy, caught up in illusion, um, not understanding that there's a lot that we need to confront. There could be something about confronting what was instilled in us by our mothers. Um, Stuck in or caught up in like femininity, struggles with your feminine side regardless of your genitalia, struggles with like, are you not seeing things clearly? I feel like no like fast moves, you don't have all the pieces to the puzzle yet, so don't get caught up in the illusion. I do feel like it is time to come out of your shell, and it is time to figure out which side of you has been running your current race. Have you been in domesticated, obedient, docile dog energy and the feral wolf is chomping at the bit? Or have you been wilding out and in feral wolf mode and it's time to buckle down and get domesticated and docile and loyal, you know, even what's going on with loyalty, what's going on with your relationship to fantasy and illusion. I mean, this is Pisces. Venus is going into Pisces. And so there's something there around dreams heightening, intuition heightening. I feel like illusions being broken, or finally realizing you've been caught up in illusion. There also could be something there around like caught up with like a maternal figure or someone with Pisces or Cancer placements. Um, Someone with Cancer or Pisces placements or a maternal figure may be contributing to this kind of like looping in the mind. Are you taking advice from people who you should be taking advice from? I feel like what is going on with you and your mother or that connection? What's going on with your femininity? What's going on with your relationship to um, your spirit? I feel like there is a coming out of the shell that needs to happen, a coming out of um, these like turbulent emotional waters. There is definitely the start of some spiritual journey that's coming up here too. I don't feel like the start, but it's like maybe for some of you it could be the start, for some of you it may be the next leg in your spiritual journey. I also feel like there's something that's coming up. That's why you've been blinded. That's what I was saying. We've been blinded to something because faith is being cultivated, discernment is being cultivated. There's something about learning how to trust your gut. There's something about learning how to develop your discernment, your ability, and also like who are you in the face of uncertainty. I'm already excited to clarify this over on the plunge in Patreon with on Patreon, patreon.com/JustJEverything. Over there, we're going to clarify all these cards. There's all kinds of astrological content. There's a tier for daily readings as well. So be sure to check that out. For free shit, check out my Instasham at JustJ_everything. TikTok is at JustJEverything. And for other dope shit that I do, my website, JustJEverything.com. I feel like some of us are going to realize like we've been caught up in illusion or caught up in fantasy, and that shit is coming up to be broken. But we have been purposefully caught up there because I do feel like there is a divine reason that's going to be revealed in Capricorn season. There's some kind of a threshold or a rite of passage, like there's a crossing of a barrier in some sort of way, like I also just heard like the breaking of the wall of Jericho. So I feel like prosperity coming in, your abundance coming in when you weren't able to see it. You have been like blinded from seeing something. Number 8 and the number 18. Please continue for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising for Capricorn season 2024. Has there been willful blindness? 5 of Swords reversed with the Queen of Swords on the bottom of the deck. So I feel like there's been a lot of healing that's happening, healing from like shady behavior, healing from heartbreak or disappointment. I feel like there's an ending of a cycle in an ending of conflict in your mind. There could, or a denial of the conflict in your mind. Something has been having you vacillating and going back and forth, looking too much in the past, or breaking away from a past pain that has had a hold on you for in some way. There may be someone with Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius placements that caused a certain amount of pain, or has caused this mental conflict, or been an active participant in the vacillation and you going back and forth. And I just feel like where there was confusion, there will be clarity. But I feel like some of us are starting to understand, like, we've been holding on. Those 3 swords that he's holding on to are the 3 of swords, like the actual 3 of swords cards, the heart with the 3 swords in it, that quintessential heartbreaker disappointment card. And so already I'm just getting, it's really important to communicate effectively. This is not a season to keep secrets. This isn't a season to keep things to yourself or to hold back. This feels like there's something about freedom that wants to come. Freedom from illusions. Freedom from like something that's been tormenting your mind. Freedom from indecision, going back and forth. I feel like finally, okay, so these 2 swords that he's holding are indicative of the 2 of swords, which is the woman with the swords up. And I feel like that is a card of willful blindness. But I feel like with them down here, there's something about like you like finally putting your defenses down, finally being willing to see everything for as it is, taking the blindfold off, being willing to see yourself, being willing to see the situation, being willing to converse about the situation, to put words, to articulate how it is that you're feeling and what it is that you're thinking. There has been a conflict in the realm of your mind that I feel like has really, really had you held up, because you couldn't see clearly, or you didn't have all of the picture. You didn't have all of the pieces to the puzzle. And there's something about, like, I feel like this is like a card of shady behavior. And I just feel like there's something about being done with shady behavior, or the price of it, what it will cost you, what it has cost you. And making sure you're not glazing over the pain that you're in, or glossing over, or just keep working, keep on trucking, just keep on keeping yourself busy. I need the final 2 cards, final 2 messages, please. Final 2 cards, final 2 messages for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This just feels like there's some aha moments coming for Capricorn season 2024. The 4 of Wands. That's nice and uplifting. There could be putting down shady behavior, choosing union, choosing fun, choosing to establish a new foundation. There could be some level of wish fulfillment coming in, a new foundation in the realm of your physical, spiritual, or sexual energy, a new foundation possibly with someone with Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius placements, union with someone with Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius placements, fun, festivity. This doesn't have to be with someone with those signs particularly, but there could just be something like passionate, something that you're like excited about coming in, a good time, a festival, a concert, a trip, a wedding to go to, or like togetherness in some sort of way. Final card, final message, please, for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising for Capricorn season 2024. I feel like there's lots to talk about, lots that you've been like thinking about but not really talking about. And that 4 of Wands is like, the deeper we get into Capricorn season, the happier things get. And then the Ten of Swords as the final card. So there is definitely a rebirth in the realm of the mind. This is a very cerebral reading. It feels like the result of, Venus and Aquarius with the King of Wands on the bottom of the deck. So ultimately, I feel like there's something here about figuring out what you want to hold on to. I'm gonna give you a little bit of the plunge here. I'm just being nosy. Hold up. Hold up. Hey. Okay. Bottom of the deck is the King of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, the Emperor, and the Nine of Pentacles. So this is giving like trust in your originality, trust in your confidence, like display your confidence, shoot your shot, don't be scared, don't operate in lack and scarcity mentality. It's like, what's your relationship to structure and discipline? Going from the King to the Emperor. There could just be something about wanting to hold on to somebody, hold on to something that means a lot to you, holding on to a particular person. They may have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or Scorpio placements. There could be something about independence or autonomy, like what means the most to you. What is it that you're wanting to be more masterful in? Only one major arcana, and that's the moon that came out. No court cards except for at the bottom of the deck. And so I feel like a lot of Capricorn season for you, Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising, has to do with your micro decisions, has to do with like the little decisions that make up these macro kinds of moves. And so I feel like things are not as they seem. You don't have all of the picture yet. So don't go bulldozing your way into like, this is what's happening and this is what we're doing and this is I know this, blah blah. Like your intuition may be a little off, or something may be off, or you may be too caught up in your head, or still recovering from Venus and Aquarius. That's a very cerebral placement. um and I just feel like you're attracting in a new knowing and a new belief system that is going to really force you to put down the weapons, put down your defenses. There is something here about like you could have such a fulfilling experience, and this version of you that is, don't hold grudges. That's a thing too. I feel like it's time to release grudges. There may be a brand new cycle in the realm of the mind when it comes to betrayal or loss or grief. I also feel like there could be some sort of, you know, healing that is required from like pain, and how this pain materializes is going to be different for everybody. But the Ten of Swords is like understanding that I feel like your period of darkness, this period of confusion, of like confusion, illusion, uncertainty, the light of day is pushing out the darkness. We are all promised 12 hours of darkness and 12 hours a day, baby. We're going to have both. And because of the light that's coming in, I feel like it puts you in the position where you can really look at the heaviness that you've been carrying around, the wounding, and making sure your victim isn't in the driver's seat anymore. You are a spirit having a human experience, and your spirit needs to be in the driver's seat, not your logic, not your emotions. Hydrate. Your spirit needs to be in the driver's seat. And I feel like you got to figure out what it is that you feel like you're going to miss out on. You know, some of you are holding on to something that isn't serving you anymore. I hope to see you over on Patreon because we better clarify the fuck out of this. This is a lot of stuff going on in your mind. And I feel like some of you think that something is worse than it actually is. Some of you think that something is worse off than it actually is. Some of you are really getting ready to shed an old version of yourself that was profoundly wounded. And I feel like it's almost like this goodness that comes in that finally helps you let go of that wounded version of yourself. Sweetness, fun, festivities, togetherness, how it could be versus how it is. And it puts you in this position where you have to evaluate all your pain. And how long has that pain been fueling you? How long has it been blinding you? Because I told you, Venus is ending a cycle when she's in Pisces. And so this older version of yourself is, everybody wants the rebirth, but you got to have the death before you have the rebirth. And so there is some sort of like death in the realm of the mind so that it can usher in this regeneration of like new thoughts, new conversations, new ideas that aren't so, because some of us have been hiding this. You've been hiding the fact that you like how wounded you are. You've been hiding how insecure you are, hiding how much pain that you're in some sort of way, or how much pain that some situation has caused you, how much pain I really feel like your mind has caused you. And there's just something there around, like, finally I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. I can breathe regularly. I can think clearly. I understand what I want. I understand what's happening. I understand, like, I know. And I feel like you're bored of doing it the way that you always did it. And there's something about trying something a new way, being bold and daring, and figuring out what passions you want to pursue, what people you want to pursue, how to get competent in the things that you want to be confident in. It's interesting because I feel like this reading is a bit heavier than it's gonna be. I feel like this almost feels like the result of that eclipse, that lunar eclipse in your shadow in Aries back in October, that solar eclipse that was in your sign in October. And there is just something about setting yourself free from the hold that fear, insecurity, illusion has had on you. So let me zoom out a little bit. Okay. There may be a lot of pain that you're processing when it comes to dealing with somebody with Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius placements. The majority of this reading is swords. And swords are thoughts, words, legalities, mindsets. It's data, it's information. And I feel like the information that you're operating on has kept you looping in the mind, has kept you stuck in the mind in some sort of way. Some of you are feeling mentally stuck. Some of you are ready for this new cycle, this new chapter, and Pisces energy is going to bring it into you. There is some sort of like a spiritual crossroads that I feel like that puts you in a position to really evaluate your behavior, to really evaluate your decision making process, to really evaluate what you've been holding on to, and is it worth holding on to? Can you put your weapons down? Can you put your defenses down? Can you be vulnerable? Can you show your heart? Are you done with the past? Are you ready to look forward to this possibly like beautiful future? But I feel like everything has to do with perspective. Perception is reality. And so there's something around like, what are you going to choose? And whatever it is that you choose, it requires a brand new thought process. It requires a brand new outlook. It requires an old version of you to be laid to rest. And for you to keep your eye on your emotions, for you to keep your eye on your future, and for you to keep looking at the beauty and that's in your life, for you to, some of us are killing off an old version of ourselves. Some of us, like, I feel like there has been all this shit with Chiron and Aries and, you know, what, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Chiron goes direct in Aries on December 29th. Thank God. And then Venus goes into Pisces on January 2nd, and then the North Node follows her into Pisces on January 11th. And it starts to get all about soul work. And how can you do the soul work if you've been way too caught up in your mind? I wish you all of the fun. I wish that you would let yourself enjoy all the goodness that wants to come in versus mentally preparing for all of this like negativity. And I just want you to know, like, I say it all the time, but we're all guilty of it. You know, if like you're just expecting the other shoe to drop, it most certainly will, and at the most inconvenient time. So we have the experience we prepare for. And I want you to prepare for joy. I want you to prepare for clarity. I want you to prepare yourself for awe, for wonders, for the ineffable. Prepare yourself for the spirit world. There may be somebody with Pisces placements who Pisces or Cancer placements that you're struggling to figure this person out. You aren't seeing things clearly. I feel like there's a lot going on with healing your subconscious mind, but you can't heal something that you don't spend time with or that you don't study or learn more about. The person with Gemini or Libra or Aquarius placements outside of yourself, or this could be you, there could just be something here around like, I'm done thinking this way, I'm done behaving this way, or I'm done holding on to this, I'm done with this grudge, I'm done with this version of myself. I don't like what this is or who this is. You may be saying that to yourself, or you may be saying that to another person. But I do feel like there's someone, you or someone wants to be done with the conflict and move into joy and wish fulfillment and union and togetherness. They may have Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius placements. They may have be just a fun person. This could be something that you really want to merge with or invest in. But whoever it is that you want to merge, whatever it is you're wishing for, or however it is that you want to merge with, I feel like you can't take that old version of you with you. Let's get into it. I'm ready to clarify these cards. I'll see you over on Patreon, patreon.com/JustJEverything. Lego. For the full version of the video, go to Patreon.